Even though the butler was looking down on him, Orville wasn't angry at all. In fact, his smile just got wider. He said respectfully, "Look, Ian, the young lady's problem is really serious. We just want to help ease her worries. What if Everett Sutton can't handle her problem? He might not be up for it." Ian said coldly, "What do you mean, not up for it? You really think you can find someone who can compare to Everett Sutton? Get lost. If you interfere with his work, the young lady will hold you responsible, and you can't afford that." Orville scratched his head, getting anxious. He couldn't believe Ian wouldn't even let them in the door. How was Charlie supposed to do an energy alignment for the young lady? So he blurted out, "Ian, have you heard what happened to that other guy in Orris Hill? He was another so-called master, Owen Pierce. He was so arrogant. And what happened to him? He came to Orris Hill and tried to act all high and mighty in front of Mr. Charlie, and Mr. Charlie called down a bolt of lightning, zap, and fried him on the spot." After hearing that, Ian was stunned. The look in his eyes as he glanced at Charlie was now filled with a bit more awe. He had heard about Owen Pierce, but he never knew exactly who had killed him in Orris Hill. To think it was the young man standing right in front of him. Instantly, he felt a wave of respect for Charlie. So he bowed his head slightly to Charlie and said, "And Mr. Charlie, I've heard stories about your incredible abilities. I'm truly impressed." After speaking, he hesitated for a moment, then said, "If that's the case, then please come in and take a look. But Mr. Charlie, you'll have to wait. Since Everett Sutton got here first, please don't disturb him until he's finished the energy alignment. We'll wait until he's done. If he solves Miss Smith's problem, then please don't get involved." Charlie nodded and said coolly, "No problem." Ian used the remote to open the gate and said to Orville, "Bring the car in." Orville quickly drove onto the property and said with an amazed look, "Mr. Charlie, that was incredible back there. Besides, the Smith family themselves, they almost never show that kind of respect to outsiders." Charlie said dismissively, "Look at you, acting so pathetic, sucking up to the Smith family's butler. I really don't know how you became the top dog on Orris Hill Road." Orville said with a forced smile, "Mr. Charlie, you don't get it. No matter how tough we are on the streets, that doesn't mean anything to a family like the Smiths. In their world, we're just small-time guys." After that, he parked the car and said to Charlie, "Mr. Charlie, let's go meet this Everett Sutton." Ian led the two of them into the mansion, which was decorated so lavishly it looked like something out of a royal palace. When they got to the second floor, Ian led them directly to a room with an open door and knocked gently on the frame. Inside the room, a lean, middle-aged man in a blue shirt held a compass, looking around and muttering to himself. Waria, who had her back to the door, turned when she heard 3 people enter. "Ian, what is it?" she asked. Ian quickly replied, "Miss, Orville brought Mr. Charlie over. He said he wanted to help you with an energy alignment." Waria turned and saw Charlie, her eyes widening in surprise. "Charlie, why are you here?" The moment Charlie saw Waria, he noticed she looked much more worn out than she had just a few days ago. According to the mystic scriptures, her aura was dim and her luck had turned sour. It was clear something was seriously wrong. Charlie offered a small smile. "Orville said you were in some trouble, so he brought me here to take a look." Just then, the middle-aged man with the compass spoke with a heavy accent. "Miss Smith, ordinary people shouldn't interfere. It will disrupt the mystical ward." Waria knew that Charlie understood metaphysics, but she felt that energy alignment was a different beast altogether. She thought Charlie's skills were good for dealing with direct threats, but energy alignment was a whole other field. In her mind, there was no way Charlie could compare to Everett Sutton. So she said apologetically, "I'm sorry, Charlie. Mr. Sutton is helping me with this right now. Please have a seat downstairs for a little while, and I'll come down to see you later." "My apologies," Charlie said. "Miss Smith, another set of eyes can't hurt. I can see you're having some real problems. As your friend, I hope I can help you fix them. Why don't you let Mr. Sutton set up his ward first? If he can solve the problem, then great. If he can't, I'll give it a try." At that, the middle-aged man holding the compass snorted coldly. "I am the 22nd generation successor of the great Sutton lineage. How could a trivial matter like this possibly be too difficult for me? Pff, you're just a kid. To dare call yourself an energy consultant, you must be a fraud." Charlie smiled faintly. He could see a dark, reddish energy swirling around Everett Sutton's vital point, carrying the faint scent of blood. He said lightly, "Mr. Sutton, since you're an energy consultant, why haven't you taken a look at yourself today? Don't you see you're headed for a bloody misfortune?" Everett laughed. "You're saying I'm headed for a bloody misfortune? Boy, you're out of your mind." Charlie shrugged. "I'm telling the truth. The darkness over your vital point hasn't faded. Your eyes are swollen, and your pupils are dilated and red. These are all bad omens. If you don't do something to fix it, I'm afraid this violent fate is unavoidable." Everett sneered. "Boy, I'm a descendant of the Sutton family. Don't you dare lecture me." Charlie curled his lip. "Am I all talk? You so-called masters. I don't think you're the only one. To be honest, most of you are seriously overrated." Everett immediately cursed. "Calling us overrated? You're full of it." Charlie just smiled. "Have you ever heard of a man named Owen Pierce? Do you know what happened to him?" "I don't know anyone named Owen Pierce," Everett snorted. He turned to Waria and said, "Miss, just watch. I'm about to reverse your fortune and show this disrespectful kid that the Sutton family's expertise in spiritual energy is not to be questioned." Waria nodded slightly, glanced at Charlie, and said to Everett, "Mister, please begin whenever you're ready." Everett immediately pulled out a few slips of enchanted parchment. He waved them in the air for a moment, chanting, "By ancient rights, I command the forces to align. Act with swift and certain might." With that, he tossed the parchments into the air. He watched how they drifted and fell, then pointed to a potted plant by the window. "Miss, I've found the problem. This window faces east, the direction of the auspicious omen. Your good fortune should flow in from the east, but this plant is blocking the focal point and obstructing your luck." When Waria heard that Everett had found the key to the problem, she immediately asked with excitement, "Mr. Sutton, will my luck get better if I move the plant?" "Neither," Everett said with a serious face. "The energy alignment is an invisible force. Even if you get rid of the plant, you can't erase its influence on the optimal layout." Waria hurriedly asked, "Then what should I do?" Everett said, "You need to place a spirit vessel, one refined by a master, right where the plant is. That's the only way to completely get rid of your troubles. Keep your good fortune flowing, and let the auspicious omen enter." Waria asked, "And what exactly is a spirit vessel?" Everett immediately took an egg-sized stone from his pocket and said earnestly, "Miss, this is Arizona turquoise. It is the very essence of a lucky stone from Mount Whitney, weathered over tens of millions of years. It's a powerful artifact for driving away evil spirits and restoring good fortune. If you place this piece of Arizona turquoise where the plant is, all the negative aura will disappear instantly. When the auspicious omen arrives, your good fortune will surely return." Waria asked with joy, "Mr. Sutton, how much does this cost? I'll buy it." Hearing this, a flicker of excitement flashed in Everett's eyes. He quickly composed himself and said with a serious face, "Miss, if this piece of Arizona turquoise were in San Francisco, it would sell for at least $15 million. But since we have a good rapport, I'll sell you this piece for only $10 million." Waria nodded and said, "Money is no object, as long as it can really help me fix this problem." Everett said without hesitation, "Miss, don't worry. If you put the Arizona turquoise in place now, your luck will completely turn around by tomorrow." Waria immediately breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't hesitate to pull out her checkbook, With a swift stroke of her pen, she wrote a cash check for $10 million and handed it to Everett. "Mr. Sutton, please give me the stone. Set up your alignment." All Waria wanted now was to solve this problem as quickly as possible. Her recent string of bad luck had been driving her crazy. It all started last month, right after her 24th birthday. First, there was a series of car accidents, and all 5 of her cars were damaged in one way or another. Not long after that, she sprained her ankle, and it still hurt. Then, just a few days ago, she lost the historical artifact her mother left her, the piece of jewelry she cherished most in the world. She'd had that jewelry for more than 10 years. It felt like a part of her. She offered a multi-million-dollar reward, but there hadn't been a single lead. She'd lost count of how many nights she'd cried herself to sleep over it. Then yesterday, the Prescott family from San Francisco, a company the Smith family was about to close a major deal with, threw a wrench in the works. The 2 companies had already negotiated the terms and were about to sign the contract, but the Prescott family suddenly brought in another partner. Not only did they back out of signing with the Smith family, but they also made it clear they intended to partner with this other company instead. For Waria, it was like having a sure thing snatched right out from under her. The loss to the Smith family was immense, far more than she felt she could handle. With one unlucky thing happening after another, Waria had reached her breaking point. At this point, she just wanted to break free from this miserable streak and stop the bleeding. That's why spending $10 million to fix her energy alignment felt like a bargain. Everett Sutton took the $10 million check, his hands trembling slightly with excitement.